Did you see Skip Bayless said that the WNBA is lying about her injury?
Dude, that's literally bullshit. Like, no one's lying.
Before we dive into this story that has the entire WNBA shaking, drop your predictions in the comments right now. Is Caitlin Clark about to leave the league that made her famous? Your theories, your gut feelings, I want to see them all, because what I'm about to show you will blow your mind. What if I told you that 4 simple words posted on social media have sent shockwaves through women's basketball? What if I told you that the brightest star in the WNBA might already be planning her exit? Caitlin Clark, the name that changed everything, but she might be preparing to walk away from it all. The evidence? It's hiding in plain sight. Know exactly why the WNBA is secretly terrified they're about to lose the one player they can't afford to lose. This is the story they don't want you to hear.
Clark has taken a couple of injury breaks just because she needed a mental break from all the jealousy and resentment and bullying and cheap shots.
You're an elite level player. You not being able to play is the hardest part. Mentally, physically, emotionally. Say stuff like that, I'm just like, just shut up.
Let's be real. Caitlin Clark wasn't just another rookie. She was a cultural earthquake that shook women's basketball to its core. First season, she obliterated every record in sight. Rookie of the Year was just the beginning. Jersey sales through the roof. TV ratings that had executives doing double takes. Arenas selling out for the first time in years. Not for the team, but for her. She became the first WNBA player to transcend the sport itself. People who had never watched women's basketball were suddenly glued to their screens. But here's where the fairy tale takes its first dark turn. That spotlight, it burns. And the WNBA was about to learn that having a superstar brings problems they never saw coming. Going into her second season, Clark made a statement. She hit the weight room hard. When she showed up, everyone noticed she was bigger, stronger, ready for war. Why? Because her rookie season taught her that being the face of the league makes you the biggest target on every court. But the league wasn't going to make it easy. What happened next would make everyone question whether the WNBA was the right place for their biggest star.
How's she coming along?
Dude, I don't know. Everyone keeps asking, everyone's like, and I'm like, literally, she doesn't even know.
The 2025 season became a nightmare nobody saw coming. Following a July 15 injury to her right groin, Clark underwent medical evaluations. The team confirmed no additional damage, but this groin injury that's kept her sidelined, it's just the latest in a series of setbacks that have defined her season. The fouls got harder, the contact more aggressive, and here's what really raised eyebrows. Refs seemed to let a lot of it slide. Fans started screaming about conspiracy. Was the league failing to protect its biggest star? Were officials allowing opponents to take liberties with Clark they'd never tolerate with other players? But the breaking point wasn't on the court. It was the All-Star Showcase, the event where the WNBA planned to showcase Clark as the face of women's basketball. She missed it. The league's biggest storyline suddenly had a massive crack. Meanwhile, locker room tension was building. Veterans feeling overshadowed, teammates wondering if their contributions mattered when every headline was about one player. Games with rivals like Angel Reese became personal wars. Every collision looked like it carried extra meaning. Sophie Cunningham, Clark's teammate, her ally through all the chaos. After colliding with Bria Hartley, Cunningham suffered a torn right MCL, missing the remainder of the season. The Indiana Fever posted the standard injury update, medical details, recovery timeline, team statement. Then Caitlin Clark did something that shocked the world. She reposted it and added 4 words. Love you always, Soph. 4 words that seemed innocent. Supportive teammate message, right? Wrong. Social media exploded. Fans weren't reading encouragement. They were reading farewell. Not just to Sophie, but to the WNBA itself. Was Clark using her teammate's injury as cover for her own goodbye? Was this her way of testing waters? Seeing how people would react to her walking away? The speculation reached fever pitch. And then Sophie Cunningham stepped into the conversation. What she said next would either calm the storm or make it infinitely worse.
She could be playing if it wasn't in the WNBA by now, but like at this level, with how deep and like how good people are nowadays in our league, which is the best it's ever been, like you can't just be good. You have to be on top of your game. And so
fan reaction was explosive. Clark supporters connected dots nobody wanted to see. Increased physicality, lack of official protection, relentless media pressure. There's a growing push for Caitlin Clark to leave the WNBA following recent incidents, with fans arguing the league failed to protect their biggest star. Social media became a theory battlefield. Raw and systematic targeting by opponents. Pressure of being the face becoming unbearable. Behind-the-scenes conflicts nobody's discussing. But what really worried fans? The timing. Sophie's injury, Clark's cryptic message, ongoing absence, all happening simultaneously felt like more than coincidence. It felt like the beginning of the end. Here's what keeps WNBA executives awake at night. Reports suggest Caitlin Clark is already exploring post-WNBA options. The possibilities are endless and terrifying for the league. Overseas opportunities where she'd earn significantly more money and be treated like royalty instead of a target. Media deals that could pay more than playing ever would. Business ventures leveraging her massive brand without absorbing nightly punishment. Foundation work building legacy without the physical and emotional toll. Despite her 4-year, £338,056 POG. Contracts get complicated when players decide they're done. But here's the million-dollar question. What if those 4 words weren't about supporting a teammate? What if they were Caitlin Clark saying goodbye to the WNBA itself? Here's something the WNBA desperately doesn't want you to think about. What happens to Caitlin Clark's massive endorsement deals if she walks away? We're talking about an 8-year, $28 million deal with Nike, the largest sponsorship deal for a women's basketball player. That's not just money, that's Nike betting their entire women's basketball future on one person. But here's the kicker. Clark's other high-profile deals in 2024 included Wilson Sporting Goods, Gatorade, State Farm, and more. These aren't just endorsements, they're investments in her personal brand, not necessarily the WNBA. Think about it. If Clark transitions to broadcasting overseas play or her foundation work, does Nike care? Do they need her in a WNBA uniform to sell shoes and inspire young athletes? The uncomfortable truth for the WNBA is that Clark's value might actually be bigger than their league. Her endorsement portfolio proves she's transcended women's basketball itself. She's become a cultural icon who could monetize her brand anywhere. That $28 million Nike deal? It might be Clark's exit strategy disguised as loyalty to the sport. Want to know how truly terrified the WNBA should be about losing Caitlin Clark? Look at what happens when she's not playing. The numbers are absolutely devastating. Since Caitlin Clark's injury, national TV viewership has dropped by more than 50%. Let me repeat that. 50%, that's not a dip, that's a complete collapse. Without her, those games are now pulling in just 847,000 viewers, a 53% drop that speaks volumes about her gravitational pull. But here's the most brutal part. Even a Fever vs. Sky matchup featuring Angel Reese failed to spark significant interest with Clark missing. Ticket prices for the game fell as low as $3 for a professional basketball game. This isn't just about one player being popular. This is proof that Caitlin Clark is the WNBA's audience. Throughout the season, Clark's Fever team served as a significant draw, bringing a dedicated fan base from her collegiate career. And when she's gone, so are they. The league knows it, the sponsors know it, and most importantly, Caitlin Clark knows it. She doesn't need the WNBA needs her. Regardless of what happens next, one thing is undeniable. Caitlin Clark already changed women's basketball forever. She brought eyeballs to a struggling sport, real money to a tight budget league, made people care about women's basketball like never before. Caitlin Clark's 2024 rookie season boosted WNBA viewership and attendance enormously. That's her permanent legacy. She proved women's basketball could be appointment television, that fans would buy jerseys, fill arenas, follow storylines with passion, but legacy isn't longevity. And right now, there are real questions about whether the WNBA can keep the player who made it all possible. The moment of truth. So here we are, 4 words that might have been innocent teammate support, or 4 words marking the quiet beginning of Caitlin Clark's WNBA exit. Recent reports say the answer is a thunderous no when asked if Clark left the WNBA, but speculation continues swirling. Was her message just friendship, or a carefully crafted farewell to a league she's decided isn't worth the cost? Only Caitlin Clark knows for sure. But one thing is certain, her next move won't just shape her career. It could redefine women's basketball forever. What do you think? Drop your predictions in the comments. Was this innocent support or the beginning of her WNBA goodbye? Because if she really walks away, this moment will be remembered as the first sign that basketball's biggest star was preparing to leave. Hit subscribe for breaking basketball analysis and smash that notification bell because trust me, this story is far from over.